I had a call a couple of days ago to come down to the Gobi. I thought you might like to come along too. I'm about to leave Ulaanbaatar for a 2-hour flight southwest to a place called Gobi Altai. So that was pretty confusing. I just arrived in Altai and half the passengers stayed sitting on the plane, but luckily Eddie's here with my name on a piece of paper, so I'm just about to head off to the hotel. Not bad. So I've come down to the Gobi to have a look at a small gold job for a mate of mine who's looking after it for some foreign investors. Don't know very much about the job at this stage. We'll meet Terence tomorrow and have a look at the site and see what their problem is. Normally when you get called in on a job like this, it's not because things are going well. So let's take a quick look and see where we are. Okay, this is the border of Mongolia, with Russia to the north, China to the south and to the east, and out to the west Kazakhstan. This is the capital, Ulaanbaatar, where we started out. Flew to Altai. My contact Terence, he's up in Uliastai at the moment at a meeting. It's about a 5-hour drive on dirt roads down to Altai. When he arrives, we're going to drive to a place called Bigar. There's the phone. We arrived in camp about midnight last night. It's about -4 degrees at the moment. And we'll introduce Terence and go and have a look at a project.
You get a white one, you don't need anything else, mate.
So Terence, while we're going past these camels, when did we first meet?
About 2011. First came to Mongolia, the two of us were on a project together. And then spent time together in a business, and then went our own ways. Both got a very big interest in sailing, except somebody went and did the dream and I'm still talking about it, so
never too late, you know that.
I'm waiting eagerly for the next volume of Stuart and Sinai's adventures.
Well, yeah, well you're helping fund them now, mate, by calling me down here to help out with this project. How long have you been down here in the Gobi?
April I came back down here, got involved with this company. We're just going into winter now, so I've been down here through the summer and starting to feel the cold, being an Aussie who's used to the sunny beaches. But it's enjoyable, it's an adventure, and it's a good project.
Yeah, and what's your role here? CEO of the company, so under me you have the operations manager and the mine manager, etc., and also executive director of the company. Right, and what do you mine here?
Gold, although there is a silver content. It's alluvial gold prospect. We're still getting to understand a bit more about what we've got here. A lot more exploration to be done. We do have processing trommels. There is potential for a lot more here that we need to find.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing the site.
Yeah, enjoy.
Before we continue, here's a brief overview of the geology. I will do my best to try and keep you awake. The mining area consists of river sediments laid down over millions of years. There are at least 3 cycles of deposition and erosion present, each one producing conglomerates, which are sediments consisting of coarse boulders and finer sands and silts. We call the phases ridge and fill in the video. As I was still trying to work out the story, it's actually quite complicated. All the rocks are very similar, and for the miners they need to know which one is which when they're mining. The site needs mapping and lots of drilling to understand it well. The sediments date back at least 250 million years and have been washed here from a nearby mountain range. The range has a fault line along it which hosts quartz veins that carry gold, the so-called mother lode. The veins started out as micro cracks or weaknesses in rocks that high pressure, high temperature, hydrothermal fluids carrying dissolved gold from deep in the earth pried open, filled and then cooled. Rainfall over the millennia has eroded the mountain and washed the gold into this valley. Finally, more recent volcanic activity has spread a thin blanket of basaltic lava covering some of the sediments. The sediments, all phases of which host gold, may be hundreds of metres thick. The amount of gold along this valley could easily exceed 100 tonnes, or $380 million. But before we all get gold fever, there are some harsh economic realities. Forget your high school geology. When it comes to mining, there are only two types of rocks: ore and waste. Ore is any rock that can be mined at a profit. So to get the gold here, the miner needs to know the cost of removing the waste in order to get to the ore, and the cost of putting the landscape back the way it was before you started. Do you still have a profit? And that's where it gets interesting.